Here is the only good coming out of Congress wanting to cut tinnitus and sleep apnea. And this is something I've been adamant on not being favorable. The good part. The indicators are starting to sway to it might be actually good. To be clear, no, I do not support the Take Care of Veterans Act. And those that do remind me of this beautiful, majestic blue falcon that will just stab you right in the back, as we see here by some creators with large platforms. We see by the American Legion. It's everywhere. The Take Care of Veterans Act is bad, but here is the good I kind of realized this morning of it. Now, Congress is really leaning into the cuts for tinnitus and sleep apnea because it'll save money. And they want to use that money to fund other bills. I think here on YouTube, we all understand what's going on at this point. But what we don't hear about is the mental health changes, which means one of two things, at least in my opinion here, making videos in my basement. One, the mental health changes are actually going to be favorable for veterans. Therefore, Congress isn't looking at those changes to fund other bills. They're only looking at tinnitus and sleep apnea. That's one. That's where I'm leaning at. That's the good that I realized this morning. Or number two, and this is not so good, Congress isn't looking at the mental health changes because mental health is such a, not even a veteran hot button, but it's a cultural hot button where we're at in our country right now. And that is exacerbated in the veteran community. And any mention or reduction of mental health would be 1,000 times worse than these tinnitus and sleep apnea changes. Okay. Now, I do think it's number one, but number two is still a plausible. It's on the table. Now, keep in mind, these are just indicators, right? What we see in the environment doesn't mean anything, but I am leaning on the side that, well, despite my previous opinion on mental health changes, because I do not think they're going to be favorable, I still kind of actually don't think they are, but the environment has changed. So long story short on why I didn't think or don't think mental health changes are going to be favorable. It mainly, I'm not going to spend 10 minutes explaining this, but it mainly revolves around the C&P examiner conducting the exam. You can submit evidence for your exam, and as long as the VA includes your evidence in the C&P exam request, and that examiner receives your evidence, the examiner is going to give their opinion on the evidence the VA sends them. And so if your evidence is within that opinion, no error was made. And I think, I believe that C&P examiners would give a more favorable opinion with a looser, a more smorgasbord, if you will, of symptoms versus having strict categories with leveled domains. So long story short. And now there are, let's say you fall into that category of, well, I submitted my evidence and this is the rating I got. There's other actions you can take. I'm not really going to go into that right now, but that's essentially why I think the mental health changes aren't going to be favorable, mainly because of the C&P examiner. Now, that's what I realized this morning. I think there is good in that we can look at tinnitus and sleep apnea objectively not being favorable for veterans. I think there's something to say about what's not being talked about, which is mental health changes or their neurological changes. Anyways, I know I kind of just threw a nothing burger up into the air there, but that's what I was thinking of this morning. Let me know your thoughts on that, and that's all I got. Peace.